Hey, welcome back. Now, I want to explain a little bit, and I'm going to take this and hold it up a little bit. Uh, I drew this actually for my daughter. It's a lot smaller than this. If you notice, it's got a lot of little dots on it. Well, I blew it up, and of course, when you do that, the dots get bigger. But they're clowns, and I thought that might make it real interesting to do this. So I'm going to do a color painting of this. She's going to carve it on wood, which I think will be fantastic. Anyhow, I'm going to lay it back down. First thing I'm going to do, pick up some linseed oil. I don't normally show all of this every time we paint, but I thought I just wanted to actually show you a little bit more about, how we do things and what we're doing. And I got some linseed oil on that. Now, I'm just going to wipe the top one. And it don't matter if I get all the way on it or not. Now, we won't do the next one because it may be next week before we start that, and I'm not sure how this will go. Okay, I'm going to lay that right over there. By the way, this is boiled linseed oil. Make sure you get boiled, or it will never dry. Okay, we're going to start painting up in this area. Now, the first thing we need to do, the clowns have all different colors on them, but we need a little flesh color. So let's make a little flesh color. We'll take a little white, a little yellow. I don't know if that's enough or not. Let's take a little more white. And we'll take a little red. Now you can make that darker or lighter, but if you look at it, that's close to flesh color, but it could be a little darker if you wanted it a little darker. A number of ways you can darken it. You can take the burnt umber, and you can darken it. And it could be a little redder, couldn't it? Let's put a little more red in it. Now, we will also tone it lighter and darker for different areas. But we'll start out with something similar to that. Now you can go ahead and mix an extra color if you want to. Now we'll take a little more brown. Or I should say burnt umber. That's brown color though. I'm mixing it in with it. Now if you wanted to, you could add a little green to that. Just a touch of sap green. I'm going to grab a little of that red again. And these colors don't have to be exactly like a portrait, but you see now that's closer to natural color. Now I'm going to start with that. And if you notice, I got all my brushes very neatly placed in these little jars, and it's very easy to get to them. You can just roll around and around. You can get to any of them that you want, small or large. I need one about that size and one a little larger. That right there is beautiful. Now I've got oil in them, so I'm going to rinse them out just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to get a little of my darker color. Now I'm debating whether to actually leave the little dots so you can see them or cover them completely. We've got a lot of interesting projects that we're going to do this year. Now that's the darker color sort, okay? Now if you wanted to, you can come in there with the lighter color now. And let me grab a little more white. Now I'm going to use some grayish white on it also. And this is real light color. And if you're doing clowns, the colors don't matter quite as much as they do on a real portrait. In other words, it don't matter if they're not exactly the right color. Now go right down, I'm going right over the hair. All right. Now I'm going to grab let me just do it with my brush, okay? I may want it a little darker on the outside edge. Now the ears, usually on everyone, the ears are a little redder. Don't want them to be too red. Now I'm just mixing these colors as we go. And his cheeks should be a little redder. And we might want to put a little up there. I'm trying to stay in the lines as much as I can. Now his nose is black, and of course we changed that, I think. Now this is a sad little clown, so we'll probably make his hat blue. You want to do that? Now that's just the start. I'm gonna rinse that out a little bit. Now I say blue. Let's mix a little blue for it. I'm gonna grab a little white because I want a lighter blue. I believe I want it lighter than that. Now, here's the reason I put out 2 or 3 whites, because I don't want to get one of them mixed with any other color right now. Later on, as you get a little farther along, you can do that. Okay, let's try a little of that. I believe I want it lighter in spots. I'm gonna grab a little bit smaller brush. That's a beautiful little brush. And I've got some here too that are just perfect. I like either one of those. I'm gonna lay that one there and rinse this one out. Okay, I'm gonna take that blue and just start. Okay, that's a start. Now I'm gonna get a little more of the white. Might be a little too light, but I sort of like it. Let's try it. Wipe all of that color off. I'm gonna rinse the brush out. A little more. By the way, I have my thinner, and this is just regular paint thinner. You can get the non-smelly kind if you want to, but I like this kind. And I have my thinner in a little bucket with sort of a strainer in it that all the sediment goes to the bottom. Okay, let's do now we're getting somewhere. Now I'm trying to leave the little outline. You don't have to do that, but I like to do it sometimes. Okay, do the top of it. Now I'm going to add a little more white. Right on the edges. And some more dark in there too. I'm going to rinse that out, because I want it to be a little lighter. All right, we're getting there. I'm blending it a little bit. Rinse that out because I want it a little darker now. I need to touch that up in a little while. That's pretty close to what we want. Now I want to make a, let's take a little sap green. I don't need much. Let me mix it right there. And a little bit of yellow. I believe that might be the color we want. Let's try that. I'm rinsing my brush out again. I'm using the same brush over and over, but I'm rinsing it out each time. A little more yellow. Okay. Rinse him out again. I'm going to make a little bit darker color here. I'm taking the burnt umber with that red. Now I'm going to make a shadow under there. sort of like that. And I want a shadow inside his little ears. Similar to that. I want a little darker in the area. Maybe right under there, just a tad darker. All right. I'm going to put a little light color right there just to separate that. Now what that linseed oil is doing is making me able to move all of this color around real easily. I'm going to put a little more red in his cheeks, I think. I'm rinsing my brush out. Let me put that line under there so I won't forget it. Now, you can do this with a real small little brush if you want to. I'm going to make it a little whiter there. So far, so good. Okay. Wow. Time flies when you're having fun. And we got a lot of fun projects. ahead. I'm cleaning my brush out a little bit. I want to add a touch of red in the cheeks. Matter of fact, let me get a little crimson. And maybe a little bit in his ear. What do you think? You know what? I hate to say it. We're out of time. Anyhow, we're getting a good start on it, aren't we? Okay, I guess we'll have to leave you for today. But come back and be with us next week, and we'll do some more work on our little picture, okay? Goodbye and God bless.